this video, right? What is the main content of this video? Coming to what are the technical opportunities in IT field and what are the non-technical opportunities. Many a people, right? Most of the people, what they think is that the moment they have to switch their career to IT, right, which means information technology or field which are related to computer science, right, they generally means that you get into or let's say have to do some courses which are technical in nature. This is the myth that I want to solve, right? What, or let's say clarify. What it means is that the moment if you ask someone that if I want to switch to an IT career, what should I do? The general answers which you get is do some course in cloud computing. It can be AWS, it can be Azure, right? It can be GCP, something like that, right? Or the next most important thing is coding. You would have to learn something on front end, back end, full stack. In front end, you have React, you have Angular, you have Vue.js, or you have JavaScript. In back end, you have Java, .NET, Python, and so on and so forth. The other most important things which nowadays is gaining too much traction is DevOps, which means development and operations. DevOps personnel are the people who facilitates this development and operations. What they do, they generally deploy the code which is developed by the developers, right? They generally deploy the code which is developed by the developers, and then they operate on it, right? Means once it's not only about deployment, but then they have to maintain it, right? They have to monitor it. That is all the part of operations. So dev and ops. Again, for each one of them, there are different set of certifications, right? For cloud, there are plenty of certifications. I've already made many videos on cloud computing plus AWS, right? What is the career track? So I would refer all these links here. Please refer them. The other thing with respect to the IT field or the technical part is the testing. So testing can be manual, automation, right? And then there are multiple other types of testing. But generally, testing is also one of the kind of let's say focused area when somebody wants to switch to technical. Now I have made many videos on these things. Please refer them, right? I would share the link. What are the non-technical field? See, it's not very easy for anybody and everybody to switch to technical. If you are young, if you are let's say just graduated from these fields, right? Maybe you realize that okay, I've done mechanical but I'm not getting job in mechanical field, civil or maybe BCom or MBA, and I'm not getting in my respective field, and you're just graduated. So then for you it might be a bit easy to switch to or learn these technical things, right? However, for the people who have taken a break or who are switching from a different career path, who let's say a person who is into hotel management, right, for some 10 years, and if at that point of time he realizes that okay boss, now maybe the hotel industry is not going anywhere further, or maybe I'm not getting a good salary there, what if I switch now, right? Will that person be able to do take up technical from zero? Will he or she be able to compete with the people who are kind of putting their 100% here, right, into learning the technical things? That person might not have patience to learn all these technical things, right? He or she might, but generally, why switch to technical when you already have 10 years of experience in management, right? That is where you need to see that what are the options, what are the non-technical options, right, which you get to switch into an IT field. This is what I'm going to go into detail now. So if you see the first part, right, this is user experience. What does that user experience means? Whenever you access a particular web page or a website or use a product or software product, whatever you see at the first hand, right, is something called as a user interface, is an user interface, right? Now, how do you enhance the user interface? That is through user experience. So the person who is doing an user experience or who is a user experience engineer is responsible to enhance the user experience of the end user, right? And this again, there are many certifications for this. So this is one of the option. This is non-technical. People with arts background, right? BA, MA, fine arts or things like that, they are generally focusing on UX nowadays. The next part, management. As I took an example of a person with a management experience of 10 years, why do you want to learn coding, man? Why do you really want to learn coding? Why don't you get into management course, right? Where you can do project management, you can do product management, right? You can manage a team, right? You can start with that, right? You don't require any technical experience for that. You require team management experience for that, which you might already have, right? Even person with 2 to 3 years of experience who has a management experience can switch to this. There are dedicated certifications also for this. One being PMP, right? Project management from Project Management Institute. So these are all not easy to clear the certifications, but you always need not have a certification to switch a career, right? So having said that, next very important thing is data visualization. If you are good in maths, that's what I believe, right? If you are good in maths, if you are good in analyzing or statistics, things like that, that is when you can get into this data analytics part, right? May not be data analytics in detail, but this data visualization, there are multiple tools that you nowadays use, right? One being Power BI, other being Tableau. Power BI is from Microsoft, right? So what happens is, basically, just to quickly say that you have some underlying data, right? It could be some analysis data. Let's take an example of COVID data. How many people had COVID in the year 2020, from 2020 to 2022, right? What are the demographic regions, right? So now if I have to visualize that in some graph, right? So what and all I need to do, right? So how well can I visualize this? That is what is data visualization. And you don't require some dedicated programming experience for this, right? This is one of some of the tools which are non-technical. Going to the next one, and this is very important, but many people kind of just ignore that. They have a very bad notion about HRs altogether, right? But believe me, they do lot of work, lot of important work. And I have taken only a few examples here which lies within HR, right? For example, finance. Let's give an example. Let's take an example, right? For example, a person who has done BCom, right? Why do you want to jump? Why do you want to learn, let's say, coding, right? Why do you really want to learn coding? This is not required, right? Why don't you go to within HR? There are multiple options. You're anyway from commerce background. You will understand numbers better than other people, right? You will understand statistics better. So why don't you join finance team within the HR team? Then if you are good in communication, why don't you join hiring, right? If your analysis, if your notion of selecting people is good, join the hiring team, right? You can join even the payroll team. So these are some of the examples where the HR team works. So there are many other things, right? If you have done MBA, then most probably directly you will be looking out for HR, right? Or for these fields. But in general, if you have taken a break, then also you can join the HR, right? Now coming to the other, which is again kind of lies into the management part of it, right? Is Scrum Master. What is Scrum? I have a separate video for that, so please refer to it. So Scrum Master is a person who kind of manages a team, right, of a set of people, and this team is called as Scrum, right? Now the other option, right? Product owner. What is a product owner? Product owner is kind of a business analyst, but he product owner plays mainly a role in a Scrum team, right? They have some specialization in a domain. For example, let's say travel domain, right? So this person might have some better experience in this travel domain. Other person may be having some better experience in BFSI domain. So these are some of the options where they can do, where they can think of being a product owner. Scrum master के लिए there are some roles. Scrum master can be a CSM. They can do a, sorry, not a role. There are some certification. For example, CSM, certified Scrum Master. For product owner, there is something called a CSPO, certified Scrum Product Owner, and things like that. Right? Now, one more options which people can have is animation and graphic designer. So currently, if you see, there are many sci-fi movies coming, right? With so loaded graphics, right? And there are some game developments, right? Game developments, right? And then there are animation movies. All these things are done by people who are having background in, or let's say some course, they can do some courses in animation and graphics design and right, and then they can actually, they have a very good market, believe it or not, right? So these are some of the fields where instead of coming to pure technical, they can attempt for non-technical field, right? One important feature, right, or let's say one important skill which you should have is communication, right? If you have that, believe me, you can market yourself. So I hope this video, though being long, gave you an idea that what you should consider in a non-technical career path within your IT, right? Whenever you are switching to IT. So if you like this video, please share, like, and subscribe.